Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Oh boy, man. Louis, yes, I did get your email. Yes, I already watched it. Yes, I do check out your guys' email. I get to it as soon as I can. Yeah, I did. I already watched it. I already have in mind what I want to do to cover that, or how I want to cover that. Better yet, yeah, yeah. It was actually it was actually I actually enjoyed listening to black women, talk about business and money and yeah, in the way that they did. But of course, black men have to be thrown under the bus. But of course, something that got nothing to do with black men, and they bought black men in just to throw black men under the bus. So no black men in the room. Black men are not mentioned, and somehow these black women found a way to blame black men for the fact that white racist men are being white racist men. But of course, anyway, moving along. So, strategic singleness. It's just temper tantrum. It's just black women throwing a temper tantrum because they can't have black men and men in general the way they want. They can't have you as Paymaster 3000, right? They can't have you as Paymaster 3000 and be able to practice negative liberty at the same time. In other words, they can't have patriarchy under feminist specifications. That's really what this is about. Strategic singleness. When you listen to some of the hypocrisy, when you listen to the way they were talking about sex through the article, when they mentioned it, think Chrissy and polygyny, yeah, right. The deviation of household chores. Last time I checked, black men are the most egalitarian group of men in America. So what are they talking about? It really is. I want the most attractive man humanly possible, and I want him to be paymaster, and I want him to protect, provide, and shut up. That's really what this is about. Why can't I have Paymaster 3000 protect and provide and shut up? Especially seeing that I might be doing well in life financially, maybe, possibly, but let's be very clear. It's not just the women that are doing fine financially that are talking like this, right? So I enjoy, and I went down a bit of a Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. I went down a bit of a Kevin Samuels rabbit hole. As you can see, we covered this a couple years ago. But I was listening to BJ. I was like, I remember this. I remember listening to Dr. T. Right? Now, here's the thing. A lot of these terms I was saying before and before Kevin Samuels covered this. Strategic singleness that I wasn't saying before. I didn't even know that was a thing. But the concept I already had. Because when you hear black women say, I can do bad all by myself, let's rewind, time machine. Let's get into the time machine. The news segment that covered where it was the white man, the black woman, the white man. And the sister was really cute, actually. She was pretty attractive. I don't think many of us would overlook her if we saw her at a bar. And at the end, when it was all said and done, and the men actually won the debate, if you would call it a debate, they actually got their point across, and that it's the women that are being hypocrites. By the way, this news segment, it was a real news segment, and it was covering the fact that women are seeing men as economically unattractive. For those of you that remember that moment in time, this is back in 2018, 2019, when it was all the rage. Yeah. So the news segment, maybe even 2017, something along those 2017, 2018, 2019. So the men got their point across. The white woman tried to play white woman and tried to flip it and be like, well, insecure men, and the men got on her. It was like, no. This article is speaking about women not accepting their role as essentially the provider, right? They're saying men are economically unattractive when they get to a certain point financially, right? So when everything was said and done, the black young lady, she looked and said, oh, well, I don't do bad. battle by myself. Now the brother did look at her like, oh, here we go. But the white man was the one that was like, whoa, yeah, because you ain't used to that. Black men are used to that. See, women in general, black women specifically, swear that their education and their status somehow elevates them in the sexual marketplace. And that then allows them. See, this is where heterosexual feminists, the ones that are the ones that actually might not know, we're not talking about the ones that are pretending, because well, almost all of them are. This is where they get it messed up. When women achieve more, they demand even more, not more on their level. They'll settle for their quote unquote level. No, they demand even more. So what is Mr. Z saying? When you take a woman that would have been making or earning $30,000 a year, $35,000 a year, she goes to college, she gets her degree, right? It takes her some time, but now, she's done her job, she's done her work, she's getting promotions. Now she's earning $85,000 a year. That woman now, regardless, she does not want an $80,000 a year man. She wants a $150,000 a year man. She will settle for the $85,000 a year man and resent doing even that. Right? And resent even doing that. So that's what we're dealing with. So this strategic singleness is just women throwing a temper tantrum. We're gonna be speaking about this, I guess, until we all are no longer here on this existence and this plane, right? And this existence. Yeah. Fundamentally, y'all are running into the wall of hypergamy. Strategic singleness, particularly when it concerns black women, is black women throwing a temper tantrum that they can't have men the way they want them. Paymaster 3000 that protects, provides, and shut up. Don't question where I am if I'm not home by 10 o'clock and 9 o'clock at night. Right? It's what FD Signifier said to me on the first conversation we had. They want autonomy and security. You can't have both. Sorry, not sorry. Dear black women, women in general, you can't have both. You got to trade one for the other. You want your autonomy, you don't want a man then. Excuse me. You want your security, then you don't want a man then. You want your autonomy, you don't want a man then. Mr. Z, you're still saying it wrong. If you want your security, then you can have a man. If you want your autonomy, then you don't want a man. You can't have both. You can't have both. And when we say security, it's not just the physical security, it's the emotional, mental, economic security. Mr. Z, you say mental and emotional and protection of women because they like to act like they're the only ones bringing that to the table. Meanwhile, look at all your single black friends. God, 1 second away from being in the goddamn. If we gotta say it, black men do it all. We do it all. Right? So yeah. Strategic singleness. Shout out to Dr. T who covered this a couple years ago, Kevin, General Tito, right? But that's what we're witnessing. Right? Them throwing a temper tantrum because they can't have the world the way they want it. And then somehow blaming black men for not being able to fold at her very whim. Every time her mood changes, you're supposed to know without her saying it. As Dr. T would say. She shouldn't even have to tell you. Right? course you're gonna keep on getting. I mean, literally real talk with Yenny. Literally real talk with Yenny. What's the incentive? I got kept woman of leisure. She started earning six figures off of YouTube. She don't know how to act. She don't know what to do with herself. And she's telling you now, I'm a kept woman. I can do for myself. I can provide myself with the nice things. I just want a man to provide me. Say it, Yenny. Say it with me now. With more. With even more. These are the women that FD Signify. I think it's only two, one and two and three of them. You check that birth rate, it's a whole lot more of them. You check that marriage rate, it's a whole lot more of them. Right? So we're going to keep on running into this. You know, listening to BGS cover this, listening to the clips that I put of women calling into Kevin Samuel's show, and you see that, right? They're just schizophrenic. They're all over the place, and many of the things they want and they desire contradict each other. Once again, the autonomy and the security provided by a man. No man is going to help you to stick the middle finger at him. Where y'all get this from? And very few black men are going to help you to stick the middle finger at black men in general. So you have a good black husband, but you want your good black husband to show you that he's really a good black husband, that he's really a good black man, by dissing other black men under the guise of constructive criticism and tough love. By insulting and demeaning, dear Bowser, by insulting and demeaning other black men because they don't move like him and they don't let his spouse, his significant other, talk all crazy to men that got her by damn near 20 years. Right. Strategic singleness. And so let's get into the fact that it was not a black woman that wrote this. Shout out to Kevin for pointing it out. I said it already. I said this before. Black women, they got your number. I said this yesterday when I was speaking about wage farming. Black women, they got your number. They know how to frame this in a way that sounds, emphasis on sounds, empowering. I said this back when Yenny flipped her crap because it felt like they were making fun of black women by having all these different people coupled up, and the one black woman is giving herself a hug. Black women, everybody hears you. They don't believe. No one believes you. Even you don't believe you. You're happy you're content being single. You'll be single if you can't get what you want. That's BS. You want to know how we know you're lying? Because you're on social media talking crap about black men. Right? That's how we know you're lying. Right? That's how we know you're lying. You're lying. Everyone knows it. You're lying and everyone knows it. And now you have this non-black woman writing an article lauding you for not being married. Because black men, once again, are inept, are incapable, are not up to par, are not on your level. It's not just that, you know, some are incarcerated, some, you know, the ones without college degrees. No. Everybody got your number, black women. Everyone has your number. Black men, other black women, non-black folks, non-black men, non-black women. Everyone knows how to sell it to you to make it sound empowering. Sell you your own destruction and your own depression and your own loneliness. Paris Milan rage farm all of these young black women who were her age and younger, who barely even kissed a guy before, who might have never even had sex before, but they were rageful because their moms made them rageful. God damn, Z. Black women, I'm gonna need you to watch how you speak about black men and men in general, but definitely black men in front of your daughters. Huh? Paris Milan was able to rage farm black women for how many? For what? Half a decade? Right. Yeah. Huh. And now you have this lady on the other hand selling you on your own loneliness. Let's call it thing a thing. Your own loneliness, especially if the article says, some of you are a bit apprehensive that being single now might hurt your marriage chances in the future. You know what it is. It's not might. It probably will. Most likely will. Almost certainly will. Yeah. And it's not just that your relationship muscles have atrophied, as Kevin was saying. No, it's also because you're an a-hole. You got way comfortable, dear ladies, dear black women. Many of you get way too comfortable with all the reckless talk about black men that even when you're in a relationship with one, you demand that he and other black men defecate on black men. You will even defecate on black men in front of your black man. Right? Huh. So that article just said to us what we already knew, but the framing of it and the phrase of it, right? Strategic singleness. Nah, temper tantrum. Call a thing a thing. Temper tantrum. Mr. Z, you know what a temper tantrum look like? Right? And the way they try to frame it, look, I'm not happy with the dating pool because the men with resources actually have demands also. They think they could do what I do. I thought I was the one that was supposed to have demands. He was supposed to bow to me, even though I want him to be paymaster 3,000. So I'm not happy with the dating pool because I can have sex. Like all the men are offering sex. The men that are offering companionship, I'm better than them. And then the other men that are offering companionship actually want certain things in return. They think this is an even exchange. Oh no. So I'm just gonna pout over here in the corner with my Rose toy and my ice cream and my Lifetime movies. I need to replace Lifetime movies. That was our parents' age. They're not really watching Lifetime no more like that. They're watching reality, whatever the hell, reality TV shows, and watching all this gossip crap on social media. Think Lovely Tea, think Paris Milan, think all of those people, right? Right. And then eventually, if they can't get the white men to acquiesce, they can't get black men to acquiesce, they can't get Latino men to acquiesce. I'm not even going to mention Asian. Stop it. Right. And yes, I already know about the black woman, Asian dude. Was the Fams, the Foms, the however you pronounce his last name. That's circulating on social media right now. She's cute, right? Huh. So finally, when they realize that they can't get black men to acquiesce to this hypocrisy, to this uneven exchange, and they're the ones saying, "What's the incentive?" Okay, right? Then they, engage in same-sex loving relationships, huh? Then they engage in same-sex loving relationships. Ain't that right, Princella? Goddamn, Cheska Lee, goddamn, huh? Kidology, goddamn, huh? No, not yet. And Trell says, Z, you have to have seen the movie trailer that BGS showed. Nope. Okay, so that's something to check out. And Dre says, put some respect. Put some respect on Z's like button. So Salty Ball said yesterday, y'all Negroes stealing cable. Shout out to Salty Balls. That's hysterical. Oh man. Thank you. Yeah, the Hispanicals. Yeah, Lion. Yeah. That was on the thing that Louis added me to. And it's funny because I heard it too. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna make a mention of that. And I went through the comments and Toya said, did she say Hispanicals? And I'm still gonna start my stream when I finally cover it. I am still gonna start the stream with that. Did she say Hispanicals? But look, let's be very clear. I want us to understand this, right? Black men are not in the room. The Latinas are not in the room. And even with that, black women resentment that they are not these women. And they wouldn't want to be these women anyway. Because guess what? Those women got to bargain with their men. There's a trade-off, right? Come on. Oh, no. What y'all not going to do? Nope. Yeah. We're out. Nah, nope. I already knew it. I saw it in you. You ain't a driver. I'm sorry, y'all. The car in front of me, when he was braking, he was being slow with the braking at the light, and he left a little bit of a gap. And I'm like, oh no, that gap could be exploited. And guess what? Nope. I already knew. You could see it in him. You ain't no real driver. I already see it. Right. So, and we're back. So, no Latinas in the room, no black men in the room. And even with that, black women show you how much contempt and how angry they are. Dear black women are not happy with our position in this society. But as men, we know we can't complain about it. We really can't complain about it too much to other black men. Y'all don't want to hear it. That's for sure. You've made it abundantly clear about that. Non-black people definitely don't want to hear it unless they can find a way to monetize it. Which, by the way, they're doing to you, right? But black women get into a space together. Black men are not even in. Black women are nowhere near this conversation about black women, being essentially Ed Blum going after black people, black women, namely, right? Black men are nowhere to be seen anywhere near this, but somehow black women they found a way to drag you in. Right? Huh. Venom cases. What the hell? What the hell is a Hispanical? Hispanic women, Latinas. That's just their insulting way of saying Latinas. That's their pejorative way of saying Latinas. Because they got a jab at the Latinas too. Because guess what? Latinas are out here snatching up shout out to Leon. We said it. Latinas are out here snatching up all the dudes. I promise you, me and my lady went for breakfast a few weeks ago, and sitting across from us was a Latina with an Asian dude. Latinas are snatching all of them. Latinas are snatching them like Asian dudes. They snatching black dudes. They snatching white dudes. Latinas are getting in where they could fit in. If they in the hood, they would a hood ass brother. If they buy trailer park, they with the trailer park white dude. If they're give me a second. Okay, all right. Just want to make sure. If they're in corporate environments, they would a white collar black man, white man, other Latino man. If they could pull him an Asian man, right? Now, is the society anti-black? Can black women necessarily move exactly the same? No. And because they can't move the same, you would think they would know how to, I don't know, appreciate black men. Uh-oh. There go a novel thought. There go a novel thought. Knowing your options are limited. Oh, Z, did you tell black women to know their options are limited? Knowing your options are limited. God damn, Z, you telling them they not in the cereal aisle. Knowing your options are limited and conducting yourself as such. Z, oh, wait. We're listening to Black Women's Interpretation Machine, and it's saying that black women are taking that like you're telling them to beg and grovel at black men's feet. But of course you would hear that. Wow. Hey, today, the driving today. Right? Wow. Anyway, okay, we're gonna act like I didn't. Yeah. Right? Huh. Strategic singleness. No, black women throwing a temper tantrum that they can't have men the way they want them, so they said they would rather be single with their rose toy. Especially now with these rose toys, from what I'm hearing, that rose toy is instant orgasm. Right? Instant orgasm. So yeah, these ladies, oh yeah. Right? No, he wasn't Filipino, Nema. He wasn't Filipino. More one of the whiter Asians. Could have been Korean, could have been Japanese or Chinese or yeah. I seriously doubt Singapore, but maybe one of the lighter, brighter Vietnamese, right? Huh. Strategic singleness. So strategic singleness is black women saying, look, I want to focus, and look at the way they spoke about like the money and whatnot, and how, wait a minute, ever since when were black women saving money by being single? No, single women spend more money. Lest I remind y'all of Morgan Stanley and how they were salivating over the idea that 40% of women were going to be childless and single. And they were preparing their investors for the women that will be trying to alleviate the pain by buying things. Right? What are they talking about? And then you have women like Yanni, decenter men. Well, good point, Lion. Lion says left out those marriage and divorce rates too. Within 5 years, high ass divorce rate, and within 5 years, torpedoing marriages within 5 years. And black women wonder why they're single. See, what happens is when you, and I'm actually really glad that we're circling back to this article. When you put all of the onus of the waywardness in the black community on black men, when you put all of it on black men, then you have people like this lady who exploit that. You have content creators like the ones on YouTube and on TikTok who exploit that. They exploit the idea that, yeah, everything that is wrong between black men and black women is black men's fault. The only thing you can hold black women at fault for is not having their standards high enough. for settling for too much, for overlooking too much, for being too sympathetic. That's black women's problem. Outside of that, black women don't really have no problems. And when we've monetized selling black women on that, then you have what you have with this article, right? Because one never looks to themselves and say, okay, how have I or how have my subgroup contributed to the issues I see here? You can't say that because that's all type of sexist and misogynoirist, right? That's all type of sexist and misogynoirist. To ask, how have black women contributed to this? How have black women's rhetoric towards black men? How have black women weaponizing the color purple type narratives and waiting to excel type narratives? How has that contributed to where black men and black women find themselves right now? Exactly, Trill. Why are we always being told to settle? Because the math don't math. That's why. If you seek to be in a relationship and yet we took off half the damn jobs off the table to allow for women to work and for women to have their, wait for it, autonomy, then you got to give up some of the autonomy for the security or just remain single. Because the math don't math, ladies. That's why. Right? Huh. The math don't math. And as BGS said on his stream, if this was 1, 2, 3% women, you know, that'll hurt a little bit, but it won't be the end of the world. No, ladies, this math don't math. Too many of you are trying to do this, and it's mainly black women. Shout out to Kevin, rest in peace. As he said, yeah, it's starting off over here, but it'll be over there soon enough. Right? And Jake says, women are sleeping in cars. Women are sleeping in cars, and yet we have women like Chrissy mocking 50-50 relationships. Black women are sleeping in cars, and yet we have Real Talk with Yanni saying, what's the incentive? I want to be a kept woman of leisure. Right? I said it what, not this Christmas that passed, but the Christmas before. Did I say, look, I'm not saying black men win this gender war. Black women just lose it harder. Once again, I'm not saying that black men win a gender war against black women, especially when white folks are putting the thumb on the scales for the women. I didn't say that. I said black women lose it harder. And this is a prime example. The strategic singleness. Ooh, Z, you gave it away already. Loneliness. The strategic singleness. You will have Latina and white women put a positive spin on it for you ladies while they get married and stay married. Sometimes even to the same black men that they told you not to be with. Sometimes even to the same black men they told you not to be with. Or they're cheating on their husbands, their white and Latino husbands, with the same black men they told you not to be with. Huh? So they're going to sell y'all these stories and put a positive spin on it to alleviate that pressure and that feeling of loneliness. But by the time you 50 something and 60 something, it's over. It's done. Who got it on their channel right now? Was it you, Compassionate? I want to say Compassionate and Callus has it on his channel right now. All these women that are tearing up and crying, and it's not just black women. It might be 3 or 4 videos he has, but if he really went on TikTok and looked, he gonna find a few dozen of women, Latinas, white women, and black women tearing up and crying because they've been single for too damn long. With Real Talk with Yanni talking about, what's the incentive? Right? Sounds nice. Yeah, I'll give Mr. Z a second. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And I'm back, right? Hmm. Z, I mean Z. Calvin says Z. Your stat is absolutely going to open FEMA camps for homeless women. Man, they might need it. Thank you, Jake. And Jake says it's like attempting to perform alchemy without equivalent exchange. And the math just doesn't math. It just doesn't math, right? And I suspect, thank you, Toya, right? And I suspect what you're going to have are more women not just being single. I think we're going to start seeing more of those, and you hear it. Um, what's going on in South Korea, where it's like women, like unofficial women only apartments and whatnot, which you kind of have in the hood anyway. You kind of have it in the hood anyway, right? So exactly, and Dre, we've said this before: strategic singleness and decentering men, while excuse me, while relying on men to pay taxes to subsidize their life. Ish is goofy, but of course, and that's what I've said. That is where Shirley Shepherd comes in, speaking of her black homegirls, her black girlfriends, about sharing their husband, and from how she was framing it, not sexually, right? Not sharing their husband sexually, but allowing for, and this is what Black Uru has spoken about before, BGS speaks about, which is like the network. So tapping into their extended network and having their girlfriend's husband come and help them move this fridge into the house, or help them hang up a TV, or help them put up this shelf, right? Huh. So that this strategic singleness still is dependent on a network, and that's what Dr. T was speaking on too, right? And Dr. T mentions, and remember the Dr. T video, the General Tito video, and the Kevin Samuels videos are all at least 2 years old, right? Thank you, better you book a session, book a session, exactly. Shout out to Obsidian. And as Dr. T was saying, um, it's somewhat $65,000. So if you can't compete with, by the way, remember, 2/3 of men in America will never earn more than $65,000 a year. I didn't say black men. I said 2/3 of men will. Then that's why. Oh, wait a minute, Z. Are you saying that's why oftentimes when you see these black women in relationships with white men, they have dated and married down? Oh, I guess his white skin adds that extra $10,000, $15,000 to put him over the $65,000 a year mark, ain't it? So as Dr. T was saying, between all the government programs and whatever NGO things and whatever they can tap into, it's something like $65,000. But we already know this. If you just look at the marriage numbers in America, not just for black people, but for people in general, you know, 26% of poor Americans are married, 39% of, I think it was working class Americans are married, and 56% of middle class and above people in America are married, right? And there you go. And Dre says, I see so many women posting snaps and Instagram stories asking for help, moving or general male help, and I just laugh. There's a cost. There's a cost to the middle finger. Women, black women namely, there is a cost to you sticking your middle finger up at men. Yeah, he did. And thank you for the super chat. And Louis says, Jason Black spoke about the Valentine's Day show, spoke about this on the Valentine's Day show. They are done. And that's all. And that's all. Right? And that Valentine's Day show hit. Men are the drivers of Valentine's Day. They're the ones who spend the money. I told y'all, last year for my lady's birthday, I bought her a pair of red bottoms. This is not about bragging. This is Mr. Z said. First of all, that's like a once in like a year type of purchase. Maybe even once every other year. Right? Would Mr. Z's lady had spent that type of money on herself for that? Huh? Could she spend that type of money on herself for that? Like, Lion said, "This is a sickness." Oh, oh man, man. When Abba said that, oh man, woo, Abba, that was hysterical. When Abba said that, because it is, a sickness. First, let's just call a thing a thing. Calvin Rogers said, "Yeah, yeah, you're bragging." No, no, no. I'm really not. I'm saying that to say the same thing Jason Black said. Was she ever? We're talking about my lady. Was she ever going to get a homegirl to do that for her? Would she have done that for herself? Right? And okay, let's say she would do that for herself. Could she do it for herself last year? Right? Thank you, Line. You do that for your girl or your wife. These chicks be lucky to get a bottle of water. And it's funny because you hear sometimes some of these women speak about men wanting wife duties. First of all, y'all don't even do wife duties when you're wives. That's why y'all divorce and twitch that marriage within 5 years. But okay, want wife duties when you're just a girlfriend, right? The ladies are saying this, but y'all want not even just husband. Y'all want rich and elite husband performance, not just from boyfriends, from dudes that just might be smashing. Y'all might just have a quote unquote situationship. Shout out to Roger. Right? Exactly. And Jake says, social media transmitted disease. Ed. Shout out to Ed. Right? And Trell says, that's the great thing about being a widower. I don't have to buy Ish for V-Day for Valentine's Day. All right, Trell, you better don't get back out there for real, for real. Right? You get in a relationship again for real, boy. Every year it's cha-ching! Right? So that's what it really is. You know what it gives me? It reminds me of the small hats and like all type of and just business people in general and all the little sneaky stuff they do to each other to undermine each other and to like pull the rug from under each other to possibly buy each other out, right? Hostile takeover and stuff like that. And when you see how people are being encouraged, women are being encouraged to move and to think about relationships as extremely transactional. By the way, they don't really want it extremely transactional, for real, for real. That's it. I say this because I want us to always remember. That's why y'all see Mr. Z critiques black women, but my biggest ire isn't with them. It just screams Milton Freeman. It really does. And Ayn Rand, right? It really does. Black women have become the same shrewd white businessmen they claim to detest. Jake, we got to use this. Jake, we have hear ye. Henceforth, Jake, this is hysterical. And Jake says, I'll take my dusty dollars elsewhere. We gotta refer to our money as dusty dollars. Oh, y'all send that to Dr. Thunder. You gotta say, if Dr. Thunder hasn't used it already, you gotta send that to Dr. Thunder. That is hysterical. Dusty dollars. Oh, that's how we're gonna use it from now on. Dusty dollars. Louis, thank you for spending your dusty dollars on Zeke's channel. Oh, that's funny. Oh yeah, that is Dr. Thunder's saying. Dusty rich. Oh man, I promise I wanted to attach Dusty to everything. I'll own it. And for the line of work I do, I really actually do get Dusty. I'll own it. Right? Dusty Z actually does get Dusty. Right? And Lion says, donate to the Dusty Foundation. Trusted Dust account. Oh man. When we say Dusty, we need to have like a prairie dog rolling through, right? The desert or something like that, like a windstorm in the desert. Man. Just own it. You want to be strategically single? Fine, we'll do the same thing and we'll keep our dusty dollars to ourselves. Tumbleweeds. That's what I'm really meant to say. Thank you, Trell. Thank you for the correction. That's what I was really trying to say. Tumbleweeds. All right. Start speaking like Rogish when he says, thanks for the sharpening. The Dust Bowl. Oh man. And Louis said, not the dust mite. And Louis said, I'm so dusty that I'm a dust mite. Hysterical. Right. Man. Calvin said, the new dusty Bitcoin for black men. If any of y'all was really into creating a crypto, right? Anyone have the savviness? Mr. Zero, invest a couple of dollars in some black men dusty coin, right? Even if it flops, right? Better you says, I gotta go walk my dust mites. But for real, I mean, if this is where we are, strategic singleness, black women are practicing strategic singleness. They don't like the dating market. They don't like that they have to play. And this was actually said in the article also. The gendered roles. Oh boy, I know we're not talking about gendered roles because you want to be a hypocrite. Because you want it all. Shout out to Trell, right? Brand new socks and drawers. You want it all. Right? Huh. What he said in the beginning of the song? Shout out, what's going on, Negroes and Negrettes, or whatever, however he said it again. Right? Lion said, call it Crypto Dusto. Crypt Dusto. Right? Because they want it all, and because many of those things contradict with each other, they're throwing temper tantrums, and I want us to call a thing a thing. I'm not about calling black women and women in general masculine. No, they're being childlike. They're being petulant children. Now, are there women that do exude masculine traits and you're like, yes. But for the most part, all these women out here, just because they have a 9 to 5 and just because they might be even earning a little bit of dollars, they're not being masculine. They're throwing temper tantrums. They're being petulant children. When you listen to Yanni talk, petulant child. Bowser, petulant child. Chrissy, petulant child. Cynthia G and her daddy issues, petulant child. Lexus Exodus and whatever situation she had with her black baby daddy in the past, petulant child. Mahogany Pink hiding behind 4 and 5 syllable words, petulant child. That heavy-set black woman that became an attorney and then you find out she was LGBTQ. She don't really do numbers like that on YouTube. I don't even think she got a channel on YouTube, but she has a channel on TikTok. Petulant child. The one who covered her a couple years ago, heavy-set, rolling her neck, glasses on, and you find out she's an attorney, and then they find out that she's in a same-sex loving relationship while she's talking crap about black men. Don't you have a girlfriend to tend to? Petulant child. Stefco saying she smiled watching Will Smith slap Chris Rock because when she was 8 years old, petulant child. When she was 8 years old, apparently Negroes was making fun of her hair. 8 years old. Stefco's what, 39 right now? Something like that? 38, 39? This happened over a year ago. So let's say Stefco was what, 37 at the time? Something like that? She said 8 years old. Damn, they're 20 years ago. Petulant child. Huh? Real talk with Yanni. When she was covering the white woman saying, okay, these men got to step up and blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. Oh, no. Now that I know, it was I mistake two videos for each other. When the white woman was saying, she don't need a hug now, but when you glow up, that's when people want to look and that's when people care about you and blah, blah, blah. And Yanni was like, yeah, because when I was 16, that's when she said 16. Let Mr. Z pat himself on the back again. I'm telling y'all, these women be in their 20s and their 30s and their 40s and their 50s and their in their 60s maybe, still resentful, talking negatively about who was the it girl, about the boys that overlooked them. I said, boys, yes, you did. Boys that overlooked them when they were 15 and 16 and 17 and 18 years old. Everyone keep on thinking that women, black women namely, sound the way they do because of some catastrophic into a relationship they had in their 20s or in their 30s. And it's possible. I'm not saying it's not. But if you let them talk long enough, like the young lady, well, she's older than me, but the young lady, when BGS was speaking to Herbert and them boys, Herbert is the brother. He every once in a while he'll pop up, but he's out of northern New York, right? And his crew, and they were talking, and the lady who's older than Z, this was maybe 3 years ago at this point. She said, well, it all started when I was 15, and I said, BGS, did I not tell you? Did I not say you let them talk long enough? Bowser over here telling you she had to go to prom with a white dude because the black jocks and the black nerds weren't checking for her. Well, there's a reason for that, and it hasn't changed. There's a reason for that, and it hasn't changed. But if you let these women speak long enough, they go back to high school on your ass. Huh. And Better You says, you talking about the fat attorney with no clients O'Shea covered? I don't know, because I remember I think she had just become an attorney or a lawyer, better yet. There's a difference. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but she very heavy set, darker skinned black woman, glasses,
Then we find out that she's in a same-sex loving relationship a little bit later, but she was one of them that was like, "No, y'all need to raise your boys to be better. Y'all need to work on these men." And And she was like the whole neck rolling thing with the attitude. And I want to say she might even have a bonnet on when she did that video, if I remember correctly. I want to say she had a bonnet on top of that. Then you find out she's a lawyer, and then you find out she's in a same-sex loving relationship, and the girlfriend looks like a light-skinned woman, if I remember correctly. And Dre says, my ex was telling me about beef from high school. That is just real goofy. It's scary, man. It's scary. It's frightening. My younger sister tells me often, hey, such and such said they saw you in the mall and you walk right past them like you ain't even notice them because I don't remember. And I didn't even go to a big high school. We didn't even go to a high school with that many people. And so for me to be in that position and then to hear literally women my same age, I'm telling y'all this from experience, recounting high school and the cute girl from high, it's frightening. Right? And Dre says it's full masculinity that these boss chicks are trying to display. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm better you said, yeah, that's her. Someone should let her know light skins don't count. You let Chrissy talk. Light skinned black women are mixed black women, and mixed black women might as well be white. Right? Oh man. If you're a mixed black woman, you might as well be white. And if you're just a light skinned black woman, well, you might as well be white too. But you definitely you mixed if you're light, and if you're mixed, no, yeah. If you're light skinned, you're mixed. And if you're mixed, you're white. And white is a catch all for any type of mix. Asian and black mix, Latina and black mix, well, Latino and black mix, Latina and black mix, it don't matter. Right? Thank you. And Trell says, I can remember the last steak I ate, let alone some high school beef. Man, crazy. It's frightening that these are the people that swear to you that they're morally superior to you, that they have a better viewpoint of life, and they're the ones seeking justice and righteousness, and you're on the wrong side of history. You let them talk long enough, especially about their intimate relationships or lack thereof with black men, and then they sound like Bowser. Then they sound like Chrissy. Then they sound like Yanni. Then they sound like Lexus Exodus. Right? I'm talking to FD Signify about Lexus Exodus, and he's pretty much like, she didn't even clear 30,000 subscribers. I'm like, Negro, with her rhetoric, she shouldn't even have one. Right? With her rhetoric, she shouldn't even have one. Paris Malone was lit. Paris Malone is literally calling black men nakers, and she got what, over 300,000 subscribers, maybe even 400,000 subscribers, somewhere in there. Right? And that's true for some. And I don't remember the name of the movie, but Charles says, what was the movie that Bill Bellamy and his mother kept talking about him dating non-black women? Latinas were just white women who don't speak English, and that's true for some. Some, that's really white Latinas. That's true. But many of the Latinas y'all see that y'all think are white are really mestizo. Right? And if you let if people are gonna start really listening to y'all ladies, y'all black women, y'all really don't want this smoke. Y'all really don't want this smoke. Strategic singleness. Strategic, and you know what makes strategic singleness horrible on your side? Yeah, and Kevin was right. When y'all are single and people see y'all in y'all 50s and 60s, nobody's gonna even have the sympathy for you that they would have had if it wasn't for articles like this. Okay, Jake and TD tell them says the brothers. Right? And on that note, everyone, Mr. Z got to make a hard stop right here, unfortunately. Okay, and I should be maybe coming to you guys either tonight or tomorrow morning with a live on what Louis sent me with the ladies. And did Crystalline Carrison pop up? Because I feel like I heard her voice, Louis. Was that her? With the ladies speaking about Edward Blum and him pretty much going after these things that are supposed to benefit black women, right? But listening to black women speak business was actually refreshing. Listening to them speak with a bit of sense, just a little bit, was refreshing. But of course, they had to throw black men under the bus, even though we weren't there because, right? And Juicy got the unmitigated gall to talk about locker room talk. Here you have a group of black women online speaking, no black men in sight, and still they found a way to drag black men into the conversation and defecate on black men. But of course, but on that note, you guys, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. Yeah, and don't let your non-black homeboys find out about what's going on in the black community and write articles to make you feel better about maybe being a single black man by defecating on black women. I told y'all, I've had a couple of white female coworkers, both me being in blue collar spaces now and when I was white collar, and they tried to ask Z. Actually, one time it was a Latina too, so a number of times they try to ask me about black women, and I shut all of that down. But don't let black women, they're just too willing to throw black men under the bus in front of non-black women, and those non-black women turn around and snatch a black man or cheat on their non-black spouse with a black man. Well, will you look at that? Anyway, we will pause right here. Truly, y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Mr. Z out. All right, y'all.